My name is Robert Callahan. I'm 81 years old, and I need to say something before you decide whether this is worth your time. I'm not here to inspire you. I'm not here to make you feel good about yourself. I'm here because I made a mistake that cost me nearly half a century of my life. And from where I'm sitting now, I can see exactly where it started, exactly where it went wrong, and exactly what it took from me. And if I can stop even one person from doing what I did, then sitting in front of this camera was worth it. Here's the mistake. I spent 48 years of my life trying to make people like me, not love me, not respect me, just like me. And I was good at it. That's the thing nobody warns you about. When you're good at making people like you, it looks like a gift for a long, long time. I grew up in a small town in Ohio. My father was a quiet man, didn't show much emotion, didn't hand out praise easily. And when I was young, I learned very quickly that the way to get his attention, the good kind of attention, was to be agreeable, to not cause problems, to smile when things weren't funny and say, quote, 0 when I meant, quote, 1. I thought I was being polite. I thought I was being mature. I was 7 years old and I was already practicing disappearing. By the time I got to high school, I was the kid everyone liked. I sat at every table in the cafeteria. I had no enemies. Teachers liked me, coaches liked me, parents of other kids liked me. And I had no idea who I was, because the version of me that people liked wasn't really me. It was a performance, a carefully managed image of a person who agreed with everyone, offended no one, and made sure that every room he walked into, he left with people smiling. I thought that was a good thing. I was wrong. I went into sales after college, and I was exceptional at it. I could read a room in 60 seconds. I knew what people wanted to hear. I knew how to make them feel understood, validated, special. I made a very good living doing this. But somewhere along the way, the skill became a habit, and the habit became a prison. I remember a specific moment. I was 34 years old. A colleague of mine, a man named Frank, proposed an idea in a meeting that I knew with absolute certainty was going to fail. I had the data. I had the experience. I could see exactly why it wouldn't work. And I sat there and nodded. Not because I was afraid of being fired, not because Frank was my superior, but because Frank was well liked in that office, and disagreeing with him felt risky. So I nodded. The project went forward. 6 months later, it collapsed exactly the way I knew it would. 2 people lost their jobs over it. I told myself 100 different things that all added up to one truth I wasn't ready to face. I had valued being liked more than doing what was right. That's what people-pleasing actually is. It's not kindness. It's cowardice dressed up as courtesy. I was married for 31 years to a woman named Carol. Carol was sharp, honest, the kind of person who said what she thought even when it was uncomfortable. When we first met, I found that thrilling, attractive. She was everything I wasn't. She was free in a way I didn't know how to be. For the first few years, it was fine. Good, even. She balanced me out. But as time went on, something shifted, because I couldn't stop performing, even at home, even with her. Carol would ask me what I wanted for dinner, and I'd say, quote, 2. She'd ask where I wanted to go on vacation, and I'd say, quote, 3. She'd ask what I thought, and I'd tell her what I thought she wanted to hear. She would get frustrated. She'd say, "Robert, just tell me what you actually think." And I would smile and tell her I genuinely didn't mind. I thought I was being easygoing, selfless even. I wasn't. I was being absent. There's a difference between a partner who is flexible and a partner who has evacuated the relationship. Carol didn't want someone to agree with her all the time. She wanted someone to be there, to push back, to be real. About 12 years in, she told me something I didn't understand at the time. She said, quote 5, "I thought she was being unfair. She wasn't. We stayed together, and in many ways, we built a decent life. But there was always this distance between us, a glass wall neither of us could quite break through. Because I kept performing even for her, kept managing her impression of me, kept making sure she liked me rather than letting her truly know me. When Carol died 8 years ago, heart failure, very sudden, one of the things I found myself thinking in the days after was this: did she really know me? Did she know what I actually believed, what I actually wanted, what I was actually afraid of? I don't think she did, and I had only myself to blame for that. After Carol died, I had a lot of time to think. I found myself doing something like an inventory, going back through my life and looking at the choices I'd made and asking one simple question: why? Why did I take the second job offer instead of the first, even though the first was what I'd always wanted? Why did I not stand up at my father's 70th birthday dinner when my brother gave a speech I knew was full of exaggerations? Because I didn't want to be the one who caused a scene. Why did I stop writing, which I had loved deeply in my 20s? Because I showed one story to a group of friends, and one of them said he didn't understand it. The laughter that followed, light, not cruel, but real, was enough to make me put the notebook in a drawer and never open it again. 48 years of choices, most of them made not by what I wanted or what I believed, but by what I thought would make people comfortable. And you know what I got for all of it? People liked me just fine, but I didn't know a single one of them the way you know someone when you've been honest with them. And none of them knew me. I was surrounded by warmth for decades, and I was completely alone. If you're watching this and you recognize yourself in any of what I've described, I want you to hear me. The need to be liked is not a personality trait. It's a wound, and you can spend your whole life dressing it up, making it look like charm or humility or generosity. But underneath, it's fear, just fear. Fear that if people see who you actually are, they'll leave. And here's the bitter irony. By spending your life hiding who you actually are, you guarantee that no one ever truly stays. They stay for the performance. But the moment that version of you cracks, and it will crack, they won't know what to do, because they never knew the real person to begin with. Think of the 5 people who know you best. Now ask yourself, do they know what you're actually afraid of? Do they know what you want that you've never said out loud? Do they know the opinion you've kept to yourself for years? If the answer is no, then you're doing what I did. You're performing. And you're paying for it in loneliness you probably can't even name. I'm 81 years old. I don't have a lot of runway left. But I'll tell you what I do have. In the last 10 years, since Carol died, and since I started asking myself honest questions, I have had more real conversations than I had in the 50 years before them. I told my son, he's 53 now, things I'd kept from him his whole life, what I was actually proud of, what I was actually ashamed of, what I actually wished I'd done differently. He cried. I cried. And then we talked for 4 hours in a way we had never talked before. I found a small writing group, showed them my work, terrifying. Some of them didn't connect with it at all, and I sat there and didn't perform. I said, "That's fair. Here's what I was trying to do." And the conversation that followed was one of the most alive I'd felt in decades. You don't have to wait until you're 81 to find out what honesty tastes like. That's the whole point of this. You have time I don't have. Use it. Stop performing. Start showing up as whoever you actually are, and let people decide whether they want to stay. The ones who stay after they've seen the real version of you, those are the only ones who were ever really there. Everyone else was just an audience, and you are not a show. If this meant something to you, share it. Leave a comment. Tell me where you saw yourself in what I described. I'll be back soon. I've still got things to say, and not as much time as I'd like to say them.